Welcome back, boys and girls, to the European LCS, where we are about to get into Game 3 here on this Sunday. Now, before we get into the next game, we have a special something prepared for you guys. Some say behind every great man is a great woman, and in Alex Ish's case, that is certainly the truth.
I think that it's really important for me and for her that she's here. At least she can get with me to such event to feel like the pressure, the crowd, everything that I'm feeling all the time, and she will better understand me.
Да, я впервые вижу, как играет мой муж. Для меня это все ново, необычно. Вот эта вся толпа, это так все здорово на самом деле. И наконец-то я понимаю, как он переживает во время всех этих матчей. И насколько он получает эмоциональную поддержку и отдачу, особенно здесь, в Москве.
For my wife, it's a really holiday. She can at least relax a bit.
Общается. Ну, для меня здесь приятно находиться, здесь много фанатов, меня узнают, со мной хотят фотографироваться, некоторые автографы берут. Ну и, в общем-то, атмосфера очень чувствуется. Я прям заряжаюсь позитивными эмоциями и передам их моему сыну.
It is really important that we can be together for much longer times.
На самом деле очень сложно, когда он летает по всему миру, когда его практически нет дома. Ну, мы стараемся не конфликтовать по этому поводу, с этим нужно справляться. На самом деле мы стараемся держать на связи друг друга по скайпу, ВКонтакте, это русский Facebook, по телефону, СМС. То есть стараемся держать друг друга на связи, поддерживать друг друга. Мне сложно, и ему сложно без друг друга на самом деле.
The child is left with grandpa and grandma. I am hoping that they can handle it.
Да, я сказала бы, что это немножечко как бы отдых для меня, но я все равно переживаю за сына, как он там с родителями остался, скучает, он по мне плачет, или он нормально как-то с родителями.
But I think that everything will be good, and she can at least sleep for, well, 10 hours, not getting up every 3 hours. And I think that will help her, and she will be happy.
Мне самой не так сложно обращаться с сыном, да, заботиться о нем самой. Да. Единственное, что очень сложно, что отца нету рядом так часто, как хотелось бы. И да, как бы нужно им общаться по скайпу и так далее. Я присылаю ему фото тоже сына. И в то время, когда он находится дома, я стараюсь, чтобы они как можно дольше находились вместе.
Finally, we can be like together, alone, and that's awesome.
Fantastic stuff. Love is all around, and especially between our commentators for this next one, Joe Miller and D-Man.
Caught me off with that one, Sharks, but thank you very much. It's time to get into our next game as the Lemon Dogs take on Gambit.
Yeah, Lemon Dogs had 2 tough games yesterday. They managed to win one of them whilst losing to Gambit. And, you know, Gambit looked unstoppable, to be honest. You know, we saw it yesterday. After the very first match, we thought, oh, anyone that's going to be up against Gambit, they're in trouble. And they were.
They were, as it turned out. Yeah, I mean, the Gambit from game 1 yesterday that I don't think Alternate would be mad about me saying this, but that stomped Alternate in game number 1. If they turn up here, Lemon Dogs are going to be in a little bit of trouble, I think we can say. But let's have a look at the 2 lineups, starting off with the blue side, and of course Lemon Dogs, who managed to go 1-for-1 with their new lineup yesterday. They are Zoro in the top lane, Dexter in the jungle, Nuke Duck in the middle lane, and Tabs and Mithy, the AD carry and support.
And of course for Gambit, it is going to be Darian in that top lane, reporting back after his absence with his illness last week. Diamond in the jungle was absolutely unstoppable on Udyr. We'll see whether he does it again. Alex Ich, of course, dominated yesterday. Genja as the AD carry, and Darker as that new support.
Well, all week long, you guys at home have been voting over at lolesports.com on who you think will win the matches. So let's check out who you guys are voting for.
It's not really close, is it?
It's not.
91% of you think that Gambit will win this one. And honestly, after yesterday, I'm not too surprised by that.
The funny thing is, though, Lemon Dogs have been in this position before because against Fnatic, they were actually 92% of you voting for Fnatic, and Lemon Dogs managed to win that one. So maybe the 90% votes are something that Lemon Dogs really
The voting's
like.
actually been not too bad, though, of this last week. I think people are starting to figure it out now. They're starting to think, oh, okay, we're not just going to vote for the Popular team now.
Yeah, using a bit of sense in some of them. Last time these teams met, of course, was at DreamHack in week 1 of the season. It was Gambit that came out in commanding style. Lemon Dogs managed to win yesterday as well against less than impressive Evil Geniuses, but fell to the new look Fnatic straight away after that. They're going to need to come in with a lot more here, with that team that took down EG yesterday, if they're to take down a magnificent-looking Gambit.
Yeah, now that looks like a very calm Darker there. We do see Lemon Dogs on your screen. And for those guys, Mythy just on the right-hand side. He looked fairly settled yesterday and said in his interview himself that he just needed to die a little less on Fiddlesticks, which I guess everybody has to do. It would have been the perfect game, though, against Evil Geniuses if that had done that. So perhaps the change to the starting lineup is working out for the Lemon Dogs. However, as you mentioned, Gambit did look unstoppable yesterday. Their match against Meteor Makers was very close, though, so it could still go either way. They are far from untouchable just right now.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly hitting the nail on the head, because the game that they produced against Alternate, if they could bring that every single game here, I think they'd be way away in their first position by now. But of course, you can't play exactly the same to the same plan with the same champions every single game. So there's definitely, this is not a clear-cut thing. Although the votes and maybe that performance that Gambit brought out yesterday may say otherwise, Lemon Dogs are a hungry team. You know, they're a young lineup of players. They feel very comfortable, you know, with these changes that they've made in there. And you know, if there's a time to surprise, this may be it.
Yeah, but look at Gambit right there. I mean, Darian just yawning, stretching. These guys are ready and waiting, and they're so relaxed now in the studio environment. You know, don't forget, like, all of our travel that we had to do to Moscow, these guys have to do that every week. This is just standard for them. So actually, it felt really nice for them guys to go to Moscow. This time, though, you know, they're ready. They're coming back to Cologne. They're seeming relaxed positions, and straight away the picks and bans underway. No surprise there. We saw it yesterday, but I am a little bit surprised to see an Udyr ban, because it's easy to pick around him.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, get a lot of CC in your team and you can generally deal with that Udyr. However, you know, Diamond has been just so strong at it that it may just be worth saying, you know what, let's just forget about Udyr. Let's not have him flashing over Dragon Wall and taking an early Dragon. They're taking out Evelyn as well, aimed heavily in towards Diamond. On the other side, Lissandra are going to be banned out there. We saw Zoro Zero finally coming around to picking that. Nunu, who is literally a 3.8 ban right now. I think he's been banned in every single game that we've had on 3.8. Shen taken out against Darian, and the Twisted Fate. They're not going to let Nukduk have that.
No, Twisted Fate going out. We saw just a moment ago, obviously with Froggen on it, just how much you can turn that Baron fight on its head. Came in, picked up the triple kill, no problems there. So really it was one of the problems. Let's see what they do go with their first pick. We'll see what Zoro's here is going to go with. Is he going to go back to Malphite? God, I hope not, because it's such a horrible champion to cast, but it is one of his staple champions. We'll see whether he goes there. I remember back at DreamHack, the arguments said that his own team was saying he can only play one champion, so we'll see what he does have in the top lane. But it looks like they're going to force Mythy onto Sona to start with.
And it looks like Mythy said, guys, you know, I died a lot on Fiddlesticks yesterday, even though we won the game. Let me have Sona.
But the thing is, that pick, that's taking it away from Gambit. Gambit always picks Sona.
They love Sona, and Darker has proven time and time again. He's locked it in. That's locked in there. Lee Sin is locked in here. We're going to see Diamond playing Lee Sin.
Yes!
Finally!
I asked him yesterday. I came in, I was like, Diamond, please, everybody's playing Lee Sin. Can we see you back on it? He's like, no, it's still not very good. Still not very good.
Apparently he was trolling you, as Diamond really loves to do, actually. But yeah, Lee Sin going to be locked in there. We're also going to have Rise, which Alex Ich absolutely bossed Alternate around with yesterday. Poor old White Knight in the middle lane. He didn't really know what had hit them, or the rest of the team by the time he got to you know, his Fed stage by the end. Right now, for Lemon Dogs, they are hovering over Varus. Well, it's probably in there for Tabs, with that Elise as well. Interesting,
obviously going towards that. Caitlyn was available, hasn't gone towards it. Tends to be the champion that Tabs heads towards, but Varus should work out for him. Elise, of course, that could be the top lane or the jungle or the mid lane. It could be any position. That's the beauty of that champion, beauty of picking it early. But look at the big grin on Genja's face there. They look really happy and relaxed here. They seem, and they're no wonder, because Thresh has still got through. How the hell has he managed to make it to 6th pick?
It's probably going to go Thresh Ash here. I mean, that's exactly what they're happy with at this stage.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, the Sona's
You
gone.
can't get out of that. You're going to get slowed, snared, big arrow in the face, hook, flayed, box. Just you're not going to get away.
We're going to cast it exactly like that. Hook, play, box, dead. Great stuff. That's what they may choose to go for here. Thresh is going to be locked in for Gambit. And with 10 seconds to go, Genja has got his Ash face on. That's all I'm going to say.
His Ash face.
He's actually going to be picking up the Ash.
Oh,
I could have gone really wrong.
Glad Aaron didn't guess that. But looks like, wow, that's a ballsy choice right there. Because if he goes with the Z, this is exactly what White Knight went with yesterday against Alex Itch's Rise. And we saw how badly that turned out. This is ballsy play. Of course, it could be Kennen in that mid lane as well. Nuke could be switching for Kennen. I actually think he probably will, which means I think it's going to be jungle Elise and top lane Zed, but I think that one might get swapped. I don't think that's going to be a last final pick.
There seems to be a lot of discussion there from Lemon Dogs about them picks as well. So we'll see if they go for that one. I hope that they're talking about, yeah, but yesterday Zed against Rise, that didn't really work out for alternate. So maybe we should consider changing that pick to someone else. And if you look down that lineup as well, it's not particularly tanky whatsoever for Lemon Dog. So they need to be a little bit careful about that one. But they're going to go for it. It is going to be a Zed locked in for them.
Ballsy play, that's all I can say. There's not a great deal to stop Lee Sin coming flying in at you either. There's I'm unsure about the picks for Lemon Dogs right now. The composition that they've gone with towards what Gambit seem happily going towards. You bear in mind you've got champion choices that all 4 champions so far for Gambit, they are going to be very happy on. Alex Ich, we saw it in the pro player pick. You said it yourself yesterday. We saw just how much he was delighted to be on Rise. It was the champion he originally was on in Moscow 5 days. Diamond procs on Lee Sin. Do we need to say more? Well, he proved that obviously Insect was the better Lee Sin in the 1v1 championship, to be fair. He did have his jungle or GTFO t-shirt on at the time. I noticed that actually. He was ready to unzip it and then he lost. And he was like, doesn't matter.
not wearing a t-shirt whatsoever.
Vladimir, for Darian, this is Moscow 5 right here, effectively. All we need is Edward to just come out suddenly with a big mask on and say, I'm back playing again, guys. I didn't like North America, I'm back.
Actually, his flight would be shorter, I think, to fly from LA to Europe
Yes, it
to
would.
play with a mask of Darker's face on every week and then fly back for the North American LCS. So I suppose we've seen stranger things happening in the world. But yeah, that Vladimir going to be locked in here for Darian. Actually, we saw him bringing it out in the spring split. That was actually the only time that Vladimir was picked in the spring split as well. Certainly coming more back into favor. But like you said, that is a very Moscow 5S team.
I mean, he used to play either Gangplank or Vladimir in the top. Lee Sin was always the jungler. He was, apart from Shyvana, could be, maybe he's just going to pull that back out. Who knows?
I'd be really surprised.
I'd be very surprised. But Moscow 5 effectively are playing right now in the LCS, not Gambit, but Gambit is the name they are under, and they had big grins on their faces through those picks and bans. So Lemon Dogs, have they walked into a very deadly Russian lineup right now, or do they have something up their sleeve? How they have something planned? We saw it with Alternate the other week. SK Gaming allowed them to have their champion choices, and they were ready for it. Didn't work out for them against Evil Geniuses in the last match. SK Gaming not doing so well this week, but Lemon Dogs, pressure is on these guys because they've come into this tournament. They came through the promos, blitzed it, 2-0, 3-0, no problem, knocked out against All Authority, blasted through, had massive confidence saying they were going to top the league. They are up against one of the top teams in the league right now, and Gambit chasing Alternate down right now. They're 8-4 in the league. They could go 9-4, chasing down Gambit, keeping the pressure on them. And honestly, this to me looks scary.
Yeah, and you saw down there just warming up his shoulders, you know, getting ready for some Lee Sin action. There's Darian, who's warming up his tongue, because we've all seen the Snake Man Darian video. Know how his concentration.
He came to Sweden in his shorts as well, actually. It was everybody else was like cold and jumpers and stuff, and Darian was sat there in shorts and t-shirts at the bus stop, and everyone was just laughing at him because it was really cold. And it was just like, look at him, look at him. Alex is just like, have you seen Darian in the corner? No, but here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go live. It is the blue team, Lemon Dogs, on your screen. Have they let themselves in for a nightmare against Gambit in the red team? They have all the champions they like, but then again, you could say the same for Lemon Dogs. They have a lot of good choices, and of course, one well-placed crescendo could always turn a good team fight.
Yeah, and they've got a very go-in team here as well. You know, like Kennan's going to be in there, Dex are going to be Cocoon, Repel straight in onto him, Zed, of course, probably the most go-in of them all here. And a Crescendo just to keep the calm when that happens. The problem that they have with that is the likes of Lee Sin, who's going to say, Kenan, trying to get into the team, kick him away. Not having any of that. So we'll have to see how that one goes. Lemondogs right now looking for a bit of an invade. I think this will just be a ward and back out. Yep, that's exactly what they're going to go for. Diamond gives it a little kick just to acknowledge that it's been put down there. Genji's on the top side as well, so it looks like Gambit are going to go for a lane swap. Yeah,
we can see Genji, of course, like you say, he's just ready and waiting. Darker's going to be helping out by the looks of it in the red buff, which means it will be 2v1 lanes. So that means Zoro0 is the Kennen player, by the way, and it does mean that it will be Zed versus Rise in that mid lane. So we'll see whether Alex Hitch has as much fun as he did against White Knight again yesterday for Alternate. It was a dominant performance for him. And he's a crafty little Rise player, and he was actually split pushing. But Darian on Vlad, that's a great 2v1 champion. Kennen also, though, looks like Lemondogs, they want to be very protective over this blue buff, and the fact that obviously Mithy and Tabs are up there. And actually, looking at Gambit, they may go for a late invade here.
Yeah, we are going to see Genji and Darker at least just having a peek down here towards the blue buff. Just maybe try and run some interference on that one. And that is going to get started off here, though. Dexter actually smiting that one down there and then just wanted to be completely safe that, you know, that Lee Sin and not got in the back lines of them somewhere without being spotted by a ward and was going to go in. Diamond did start off on his blue buff. And the thing is, Lemondogs have done a switch here as well now. They want this 1v1 lane with Darian against Zoro0.
Yeah, so they've switched those lanes, like you say. They've managed to put their duo lanes at the top now. And it does also mean that Diamond started off with the smite as well. So both champions in the jungle using their smites. So no crazy invades going to be happening just yet. It was what we used to see with Diamond. He was the original, I wouldn't say counter jungler. He was just lived in your jungle. He didn't counter it. He lived there. But as it stands, let's see how this one works out between the two. Expect Darker to be thrown out those hooks once level 2 or 3 gets hit. I don't think he's going to go from just yet. It's very dangerous time, so he's trying his best to zone out Mithy, though, trying to bully him out here, seemingly doing a very good job of it, because look at the CS. It's already 10 CS for Genji.
Yeah, and Genji, we've seen him on Ashe multiple times here. I think out of all the Ashes that he's played, he's only lost 1 game with that. And the fact is that he is a fearsome Ashe player. We are going to see him getting on towards Nuke Duck early on there. Gets a slowdown, but not really got too much damage to offer up here, that Lee Sin at level 3. This bottom lane, Vladimir versus Kennen. Obviously, Vlad, once he gets up to level 9 is where he really comes into his own from that. As Dexter is going to go on towards Alex Hitch, takes a big blast of damage, and Diamond coming in around the side here is actually going to land the Q on towards Dexter, but he might go in a little bit too deep here. Actually, will have to flash away to safety, and a little bit of a wild exchange in the mid lane with these summers being burnt.
Yeah, Nuke Duck's Ignite was used up there, and like you mentioned, the flash had to be used by Diamond, so let's see how much that's a problem. I think he was trying to force the flash away from Dexter as well, trying to prevent any jungle ganks, but kind of backfired pretty horribly. Went in a little bit too aggressive, and that means Dexter is also going to take away the large Wraith as well. Diamond did go across towards the Wolves, so keeping that farm on. Alex has actually done a great job at going on towards Dexter, which kind of baited in Diamond himself. We do see the poke back and forth, and Alex, he's still ahead in CS. Despite all that, he's going to keep the advantage. And we saw this exactly what happened yesterday. We're just going to have to keep track of it. Nuke Duck's trying to back away here. I'm not too sure if Alex will let him. No, he won't. Rune Prison goes down. Nuke Duck tries to go aggressive. Ignite comes out from Alex Hitch. He continues to put the damage down. Really is going to force him away. Flashed in for it. Tried to get the Rune Prison down. Wasn't quite close enough, though.
Yeah, that was crazy. Still fearing. He needs to be careful now because the Cocoon's going to land. Dexter coming in, and there is the first blood. Alex Hitch had already used his flash to go in for Nuke Duck, and he got baited out nicely. Dexter, he used his flash, yes, but it was worth it in the end. First blood for him, and that's going to hinder Alex Hitch's rise now, and that's what they needed to do. That's what wasn't done to them earlier on, as they're in this top lane. It's all kicking off as well as Darker goes down.
Darker just caught out. He was like, I've got him going. Oh, wait, this is not a good pull, is it? Because Genji was already backing off there. The volley shot came out, but unfortunately for him, once Tabs managed to get hold of him, that piercing arrow, hail of arrows, just absolutely wrecked him. And we saw really the danger that Elise always offers. You know, be it the top lane or just the jungle in mid lane, he can land that combo. Once he sinks those fangs into you, it's going to do a lot of damage, and that's why Alex Hitch burnt down. I think it kind of caught him off guard a little bit there. Darian, though, in this bottom lane, pushed up against his tower. He's just going to be farming this one out. Did have Diamond just lingering there, but he's backed off. And Darian happy to continue farming on his turret.
Yeah, Kennen, Zoro doing a really good job actually of bringing that farm back. And look at Dexter, he's camping this middle lane out. They've singled out Alex Ich here in this game plan to say, if we're going to go for anyone, it's going to be Alex Ich as a wild cocoon comes flying across, hits the minion, and that will signal that Elise is there. He decides to back off from that one. Alex Ich still got that CS lead in this middle lane, came back in with a tier as well, so he's going to get that one stacking up.
And if you think back to the alternate game yesterday with White Knight, we've been a bit harsh on White Knight, I feel, because it was really all about Aranea having to occupy the bottom lane. He wasn't able to help out the mid lane, so he was left on his own. So we're seeing Dexter coming up. He's trying to sit on Alex. He realized the pressure, the problems that they had yesterday. They watched that match. They're not stupid, and they have managed to assess it and realize, okay, we have to sit on Alex. We can't let him get away like he did yesterday and get that free farm going, get that tier stacking off, which is what he's going to be doing right now. He is still keeping ahead in the CS, though, as is Genja, and as is... It's a bit harsh to say as is Darien because they're pretty much even, but top lane, it's still 10 CS gap for Genja.
Yeah, Tab's actually getting flayed back there as he comes in towards Darker. Both teams got a pink ward down, and that's going to be a battle in itself, which Mithy is going to win out on. And Darker going to be annoyed at his loss of a pink ward there, but as if by magic, a spider appears in the brush, and now Diamond's actually going to have to come over to try and cover for this one. It's a lot of damage going down early on towards this turret. Diamond right now is actually doing the golems as Darker here taking a ton of damage. A piercing arrow coming through there at the back, and Darker is probably going to have to recall for this.
Yeah, Diamond carried on just on the golems. He's like, no, you guys have got this. You'll be fine. No worries about this. Now he's going to come up and help out. It's going to keep Genja away from there. But this is dangerous play here. Although, is Genja about to hit level 6? We are seeing Nuke trying to steal away the blue buff as well. Alex Ich is going to come around there. Has got the help of Darien. Genja taken low in this top lane. Nuke not done yet down this bottom lane. Has got that ward there, so he's going to try and burst out this blue buff. And Genja, well, sorry, Alex is just going to step away from this one. He's like, no, I'm not going to fall for it. If you want to try and take it, you're going to have to tank it all yourself.
And Nuke just having a little bit more of a peek back into that one. But look at this, his top turret going super low. Actually, Darker's coming from the side, but he's not going to be able to get in to stop this one. In fact, he's just decided, you know what, can't hang around for that. I'm just going to back off from this one. And this is going to be the first turret of the game here, going down for the Lemon Dogs. And they're looking to steal a red buff as well.
Yeah, look at that. Tab's just making sure the tower wipes out all the minions, so Genja doesn't get any CS back. That's gained his 10 CS lead that he had on him, and he's pulled it straight back. Dexter also stealing away that red buff. Everything working in Lemon Dog's favor early on here. You know, despite the fact we were talking about how Gambit have gotten just about everything they wanted, they are falling way behind, and it's nearly a 3,000 gold difference. That one tower and the 2 kills. 8.5 minutes gone into this game. Kind of surprised. Lemon Dogs obviously had a plan, and it seems to be working.
And I really like the way that Nuke's gone about his build in this one as well. Double Doran's Blade means he's got that extra damage, but also, probably more importantly, that extra health to stop him being bursted down so often when Alex actually gets a bit of sight on that one. This bottom lane right now, of course, Kennen versus Vladimir. No real surprises. Vladimir up until level 7 at this point. Zoro has got that CS advantage. It just works out that way with a Vladimir.
Yeah, and you can see Zoro is keeping the pressure, and like you mentioned, that CS advantage is going to just keep on building. He's quite happy. And this is dangerous for Gambit because both those guys want to split push. They want to be the guys that are going to have to try and keep the game flowing. Gambit quite happy to do it, and that's why Diamond is coming down to try and see if they can get a bit of a kill on him. Both obviously have that ultimate, so there's a leveled advantage so far for Zoro, but taking pretty low. You can see the damage potential that Darien has there as he just drained off the life from Zoro, forces him to chug through those health pots, and that buys Diamond time to sneak into the bushes.
Yeah, he's going to get on. Let's down into the second brush as well. Look at that. Dexter is now coming in on this top side. They've pinged onto Darien's position, and he's actually walking into that trap somewhat here, as we are going to see the cocoon land. Darien instantly down to half HP. Diamond going to get involved. There is a slicing maelstrom, and Darien now focused down. He will fall. Will Zoro be able to escape from Diamond right now? He will be popped in the end by Darien's ultimate. Diamond moves himself off towards the ward. Where's the cocoon? There's the cocoon. Where's the finisher? Wow, Taz sniping him from the side. Now that's how you distribute the kills around your team.
I was just about to say Lemon Dogs are coming down the river, but I don't think they're going to get close enough. But wow, did not expect the piercing arrow to come from that far out. And Lemon Dogs doing a wonderful job in the first 10 minutes here. You can see now 4-1 up. They're going to pick up the dragon, and that gold lead is going to keep on stretching. 3,500 gold now. Big advantages being gained here. Lemon Dogs had actually grouped up. They got 3v1 on Alex in the mid lane while that was all happening. So they are putting pressure all across the map right now, and Gambit they don't seem to be reacting quick enough.
Oh, Lemon Dogs here. Now, for a team, all right, they've made one roster change here. They've taken support, which is, for me, and I said this yesterday, I think, and forget that because they're diving on towards Alex. It's a crescendo flashed away from there by Alex. Well, this turret now going to be the focus of the Lemon Dogs' attention. Down to half HP. They've got 4 men there. Darker coming around to try and support the effort of defense, but I'm not sure with all this next minion wave coming in that they can actually hold on to that one. You can see it's being shredded down, and that will be turret number 2 here for Lemon Dogs.
Yeah, no problem there because Lemon Dogs, they've stacked out all those Doran's blades. You can see it across the board. Kennan's got 2, Zed's got 2, and Vayne Varus has got 2. Varus wasn't involved. He was down the bottom, but it doesn't matter because they had the damage to just nail down that turret. Tabs is trying to do the same. This is going to be the next focus of target for Lemon Dogs. They're just going to sweep on down the map. They are clearing out the objectives, and Gambit not getting that free farm time that they like.
No, and funnily enough, when we talked about Gambit and their picks here, we were thinking a comfortable composition, you know, run it the way that they've obviously got a big plan coming in with this setup that they've, you know, used to go for. And right now, they're being outplayed, they're being outpositioned, they're being pretty much destroyed by Lemon Dogs at this stage. It's 4,000 gold. That is not a small amount to be talking about when we're talking about 12 minutes into the game.
And normally, when you talk about Gambit, no matter what the kills are, they're normally still up with the gold because they can farm so well, but they're falling behind. They are actually even in the farm if you look across the CS, all across the board, but it's all the objectives that are being gained by Lemon Dogs that have given them this big advantage. 3 towers and a dragon is a huge difference, and those 4 kills, of course, versus the 1, they are just winning out every single chance they get. Darian trying to get towards Zoro Zero, eats the shuriken and a stun.
Boom, you're stunned, you're not chasing me from this on. But he's up to level 9 now, Darian, which is where that Vladimir really comes into his own. Dexter here, he's going to try and get himself off towards his bottom lane. They've just seen that ward being put down on the one that they had already in the tri-bush, and Darian is still waiting there. I have no idea what is Darian doing. Darker pinged that one.
Darker pinged it, backed away. Darian just stayed there, not listening to his support player that said, a ward has just been placed here. We need to get the hell out of here. I had to adjust what I was going to say, but definitely that's what they should have done. And maybe Darker has to adjust what he said because Darian's clearly not listening.
No, he wasn't listening to him then. You know, those kind of miscommunications can happen. I guess Darian was like, well, I've got Ghost and I can pull. I don't know what the problem is here, but he didn't even really get anything down there. He stuck the Hemo Plague down for a bit of extra damage, but he was pretty much dead before he realized what was going on. And there's a pink ward on the blue buff. This is going to be another steal, something that Dexter has done so well in this game already. Taking away a red buff, had now the blue buff as well. And he looks like a different Dexter that played for the Dragonborns in the spring split.
Absolutely, but look at this down in the bottom lane. The Cocoon comes out, the Spider gets pinged on towards Darker, but this turret is being dropped. Crescendo comes out, they're going to go for it, they're going to get it, and Darian just drops. Dexter, though, is in trouble. He's going to get hooked in, he can just repel away, and he does just that. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the box, nothing can catch this pesky little Spider.
And now we see we see Nuke come down as well. And with that extra damage, this is going to be an inner turret being taken down, and they're just going to go to middle right now. Gambit have started to move over towards the bottom side. Tabs has pushed middle through. This could well be a second inner turret, or Gambit are going to have to fight it off.
Well, I think Gambit must have had a heavy night because they have not turned up in this game so far, and Lemon Dogs are just absolutely massacring them across the board. They're going to try and gather up here, but again, the Cocoon lands, and Genji's going to take a chunk of experience there, there. Goes down to half health. Well, maybe he took experience off him as well. Maybe it's a new hacks they found, but Lemon Dogs at the moment 6-1 up in kills, and look, the gold is stretching massively in their favor. We're only 14 minutes in. It's already nearly 7,000 gold.
I think Lemon Dogs watched their win against Alternate yesterday and said 22 minutes, new record in the LCS. We know what we've got to do, guys, because right now it's going that way. 6-1 in kills, almost 25 to just 17,000 gold, 5-0 in turrets. Gambit, I can't remember the last time they were in this scenario.
And with their main champions, honestly, maybe this is why they've not played them for so long, because they're just absolutely shaky on them right now. Don't seem to be able to land anything, don't seem to be able to find any kills, and everybody is sort of lacking. If you look across the board, the CS still is close. It's close to CS, but that doesn't matter because they're 6-1 down in kills, and They've lost 5 turrets. They're going to lose the inner turret at the top there. Genja's just about to get a little pop on him from Nuke there. Already takes about half his hit points off. They're happy to just keep on split pushing. Nuke going to walk away. Zero in the bottom lane. He's going to shred down Darian. You're not going to get away from that with a pull. Doesn't matter. Alex drops in the mid lane. Darian drops in the bottom lane. All across the board, Lemon Dogs are just melting Gambit.
I'm not sure why he didn't really use his ghost there, but Dexter here is actually going to get caught inside of the jungle. He managed to land a cocoon, and look at the damage he's putting on towards Diamond here. He's going to be looking to escape. This one will go off towards the wall, but Dexter follows him over the wall. He's now unstoppable with a lead. 5-0-2 out the jungle with the Spider. What is going on in this match?
And if you look at his build, he's basically a top laner right now because he's done so well. He's 5-0-2. You can't fight him like that. He's too strong now. You've got to deal him. You've got to basically effectively deal with him as another AP carry, a very strong AP carry at that. And they thought they had him, but they just got destroyed again there. So they're trying to create advantage. They're 10,000 gold behind, Joe. 16.5 minutes in. I don't remember the last time I saw Gambit getting their asses handed to them this bad.
No, and certainly not after 16.5 minutes into a game. My God. 1 for 4 right now, the score for Darian. He's been caught time and time again in this bottom lane. He used Ghost very late in that last encounter, and for me, he almost seems half asleep. We saw him yawning before. Maybe he is actually just genuinely ridiculously tired right now. We're going to see Lemon Dogs here going for a dragon. All that being a solo dragon from Nuke Duck Zed here, who's got right now that Blade of the Ruin King, double Doran's Blade, double longswords as well as so many Doran's Blades actually on that side, 6 of them at this point. Abyssal Scepter's done for Kennen along with a needlessly large rod. We've got Elise who's 5-0-2 and just racking up the items. You can't compare items right now across the board because they're just not similar in any way.
I think Darian's just like, they're doing Baron. They're doing Baron 17.5 minutes in. Darian down the bottom lane. I don't think he cares anymore. It's like, I'm not worth anything. So honestly, I'm just going to keep on pushing. You can kill me all you like, because just frankly, you're not going to get a great deal of gold out of it. I'm just going to keep on pushing. They have had to back away from the Baron. They're going to see if they can peel. Oh, they're going to catch on towards Diamond. Diamond, though, will be a slippery, but he does manage to get the hail of arrow. But look at that. Dexter just comes in. He's going to be burning down. The cannon catch on towards Alex. Will it be enough? No, the crescendo comes across. It's a double kill for Dexter. He's going to get on towards Darker as well. It should be another kill. Meanwhile, down the bottom, Darian goes down. It's almost an ace. Genja's the only person alive because, frankly, he's not even in a lane. But that doesn't matter. It's 7-0-2 Dexter right now. Is this the same Dexter we saw in Dragon Balls? What the hell is going on?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm pressed. I'm struggling to find any answers right now as to where this Lemon Dogs team has come from and what's happened to the Gambit that they've obviously kidnapped and replaced with people who don't really know what they're doing at this point, because Lemon Dogs are absolutely stuffing them at this point. There's the Ash Arrow coming through, actually misses everyone. Nicely dodged, to be fair, rather than missing. I won't take that away. But the Baron is going to be taken away. Look at that gold lead. It's now 13,000, and Nuke Duck is closing in on Genja. He's just waiting as the Spider comes over the wall, tab snipes it down, and that was a delayed ace.
Wow, this is a absolute massacre right now. I think KT Rolls the B actually have come into the studio or something. I'm not too sure what's going on because Lemon Dogs are just destroying them. And if we don't see a 20-minute surrender, I'd be quite surprised. Actually, I won't be because the Russians won't surrender at all. But
especially since they won in 22 minutes yesterday. They don't want to lose that record.
Yeah, absolutely not. But 19 minutes gone, 14-1 in kills. And honestly, I think everybody was probably excited. I certainly was by the fact that Diamond is like pulling out Lee Sin again, but maybe he should just not play it.
Well, right now, if we're going on form with Lee Sin so far, it's certainly not been the best of games for him. It's really hard to pinpoint at what
went wrong?
point where this went wrong, because
it snowballed so heavily.
Yeah, it's just gone so fast. And I think this shows the beauty of Elise at this point as well. We see a top lane, mid lane, jungle. Look at that, it's a jungle Elise, 7-0-3 right now. Absolutely destroying faces. And look at this, Lemon Dogs are now starting to push up towards this middle inhibitor turret.
And this just shows just how wide open the league is right now. I mean, this is going to make Gambit go 8-5, I believe. Lemon Dogs are going to move to 6-7. The league is still very, very close. At the moment, it seems that Alternate, who will be playing in the next match, are the only team that are able to keep a bit of momentum going, but they're up against Fnatic in the next match, so that could easily change its way because they're 2-0 so far this weekend. But Lemon Dogs have just looked magnificent here against Gambit. Gambit just seemed to have had a rough night compared to last night because yesterday they looked unstoppable. But today, they don't seem to be able to string anything together. 1-5-0 in the top lane, 0-3-1 in the jungle, 0-3-0 Alex, it's 0-1. Well, Genji's never really in the game anyway. He's always off farming somewhere, so not surprised by that stat. But nevertheless, all across the board, they just haven't been able to win a single lane. That is very unusual for Gambit.
Yeah, it's unheard of, actually, I think. We've just not seen this side of Lemon Dogs, and we've not seen this side of Gambit. And as you said,
where's Darian going? They're just carrying on pushing the mid.
It's split pushing, I think is the correct term for it, or something that he's trying to do
split
here.
Pushing against super minions.
Go on, son, you can do it. That Vladimir, as I said, he gets really strong at level 9. Right, pushing in now on towards the second inhibitor turret. Finally, they're actually going to come back. Mithy is going to go down here, and finally, Gambit gets something working for them. Lemon Dogs decide to back away there from that inhibitor turret. No point in risking anything at this point.
No, well, there's risking and then there's just going kamikaze. As it stands, though, you know, with such a huge advantage, absolutely no reason to go crazy. Darian's going to get caught out, though. Like I mentioned, not really worth a great deal, so probably not worth the kill either. They are just simply trying to remove the threat. That means they can get the damage on the turret. There's the next inhibitor turret going down. Inhibitor should follow. And remember, this is still a Baroned up Lemon Dogs. Despite the fact they're 4v5 right now, they have that Baron buff. It's going to make them strong. And look at that piercing arrow rattling past Alex Ichi's face. Oh, Darian's caught out once again. This time he's going to get the Fang Sug on. Use the Hemo Blade, but only on one person. And there goes Zoro slicing Maelstrom across. Genja's going to get caught out. He gets dropped. Diamond Prox, he's got the ultimate on him as well. Alex Ich is the final man standing. He's just going to run like a bat out of hell straight back to the fountain. The inhibitor goes down. Lemon Dogs are going to push on for victory, Joe. This is insane. 22 minutes.
They're going to go for the win. Darian actually coming in from that side now. They've come back out of the base, but the damage coming onto these Nexus turrets is pretty high. Alex Ich going to have to back away. Darian going to be focused on nearby. Nuke Duck is going to pull up here and get himself back on towards that fountain. But the Nexus itself is going to fall. Oh, not as the crescendo comes in. Alex goes down. They're going to try and kill Darian here as well. Darker is in for another death, and that is going to be the Lemon Dogs absolutely hammering Gambit here in 22 minutes and 40 seconds. What just happened?
What just happened? That was absolutely miraculous playing. Honestly, all across the lanes, all across the board, all across everything in the game. The Summoner's Rift was just absolutely dominated by the Lemon Dogs. We talked about the picks, we talked about the bans. We thought, what the hell are Lemon Dogs doing? They've just given Gambit like all their old favorites, Moscow 5 re-risen, but clearly not, because the Lemon Dogs have surfaced. These new pups coming out and absolutely spanking people. They said at the start they were so confident, and it just shows there. That was a dominant performance.
I don't think Gambit really know what hit them there. That's going to take a couple of replays, I think. They're going to have to watch the VODs from that and see exactly what happened to them. And Lemon Dogs, I honestly don't think that they envisaged that one going quite the way that it did in the end as well. You can see a lot of smiles on their faces, as you'd expect after you, well, beat Gambit, but they thrashed Gambit there. And
there should be a giant grin on Dexter's face, honestly, because frankly, Dexter was just immaculate in that game. His Elise was just picking up kill after kill after kill. And I think he was like 7-0 to 10 minutes in, something like that. Absolutely dominated the jungle, which, how often do you say against Diamond Prox?
Almost never, actually. And you would have never said that about his Lee Sin earlier on in League of Legends.
Well, so maybe he was just proving a point there. Maybe he was proving a point to the world and saying, no, Lee Sin really isn't that good anymore.
Well, I think other players have kind of said he is good at this point. But, you know, Gambit, for me, the head wasn't in the right place. As he said, it was really hard to pinpoint exactly what got the ball rolling, because all the balls started rolling all the time. All together. Like, Darian in the bottom lane, what was going on there? I mean, we saw Darker come down. Oh, there's a ward just gone over. They're probably going to gank us. Ping to go back. Darker walks off, and Darren's like, just going to farm.
Don't see what the problem is.
And then, you know, that's a kill there. And then by the time you look at the scoreboard again, Dex has already got 3. He's picking up blue buffs here. He's taking a red buff here. Then he's going into the top lane, and they're getting kills on that side of things. And overall, it just worked so well for the Lemon Dogs. And I can't believe that we've just watched that.
Well,
honestly.
maybe
Quite
Gambit had
speechless.
places to go tonight or something, because that was their final game. So maybe they're just like, guys, we've got to finish this quick one way or another, and we need to get out of here because we got parties to go to or something. I don't know what the Russians do when they come to Cologne. Maybe there is a party. I'm not going to go that way though for the Gambit team because that's a bit harsh. I'm just gonna cut off there.
We'll just stop with that one right
If
there.
anyone knows what's going on in Cologne right now, then you'll know.
I'm glad you said all that, and not me. But that leaves Gambit, of course, 8 for 5 now, still technically in second position in the table.
Yeah.
Lemondog's going to move up to 6 for 7. They could end up being actually tied with Fnatic by the end of today, who, of course, will be coming up in our next match in just a little while. But really hard to, you know, break down that game whatsoever because it was just kill after kill after kill after kill. And Lemondogs, as I said, I don't know where these people have been, these Lemondogs players have been hiding, but, well, they've brought them out today and they're very good.
It's certainly not the same team that almost threw against Fnatic and finally came back after about 50 minutes, that's for sure, because, well, you know, when they changed the support, Miffy was coming in and they said, we will finish games a lot quicker. It seems that they were not lying. They proved it today. And, of course, we're going to get words with the man that said that himself. It was Dexter, and he is with Shox.
Thank you very much. Dexter, what a game. I mean, the plan must have been to be very aggressive from the start, but I don't think even you guys expected it to go that well.
I don't think anyone expected it to go that well against Gambit. And we were like, okay, after yesterday, we went 1-1. And we were like, okay, we have no pressure on this game. Let's see how it works out. And yeah, that's how the game goes, I think.
Yeah, because yesterday against Fnatic, we were also doing very good, and you put up a good fight. So what was the factor that went wrong there and that went very well now?
I guess the factor why we lost the game against Fnatic was, like, as usual, the Baron. We did a really bad Baron call that lost us the game. And if we wouldn't have done the Baron call, I would have waited like 2 minutes more for the flashes of us. Then we would have maybe won the game there, but it's really hard to say. Like,
Is there something in this game that you thought, well, Gambit just performed really, really bad in that or that or that lane, I could just keep coming there and ganking and racking up the kills?
well, after Ryze flashed in mid lane after my teammate nuked Duck, I was like, okay, maybe I can grab a kill in mid lane. Then I flashed and hit the stun on him, and then I got first blood. And after that, I know, yeah, Elise with first blood is like really snowbally. And yeah, I got a couple of more kills, and I was like, okay, this is game over pretty much.
That pesky spider. Anyway, what you say is, how is your team feeling right now overall? In the summer promotion tournament, we had some people in your team saying, you know, we're going to do so good. Some of them saying we're going to win Worlds, but realistically, where are you at now?
It's really hard to say where we are. I think if we train like 1 or 2 more weeks with our new support, we could potentially be like top 3 Europe. And yeah, scrims are going good, and we improve a lot every day. And I think this match pretty much showed that we can beat every team, even Gambit.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much, Dexter, and congratulations once again.
Thanks.
All right, now Alternate bounced back from their loss yesterday, beating NIP earlier in the day, but they've got a massive task ahead of them as they take on the revamped Fnatic after the break. Don't click that mouse.